Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. I'm going to try something a little bit different today, so let me know what you think. I'm kind of just going to riff on different topics, obviously discussing Bitcoin, but let's give it a go and see what happens. Um, One of the things that I wanted to talk about today was Bitcoin meetups and how much I enjoy them, especially over the last year or so that I've been able to attend. Kudos to the Orange Pill app. I'm not getting sponsored by them or anything like that, but it's a really useful way to meet folks in the Bitcoin community. And anytime you do meet someone that's also in Bitcoin, it's an amazing shorthand to be able to just connect with someone in that way when you already know, like I feel like most Bitcoiners have similar thoughts about what's going on in finance, what's going on with health, what's going on with everything in the world. So when you do connect with someone in the Bitcoin community, it feels like your brothers in arms. So I just want to give a special shout out to all the Bitcoiners that I've been able to meet in person, and I hope to continue to meet more. I've actually debated whether it's worth going to the Bitcoin conference in Las Vegas. I believe it's in May. So I'll see, I'll consider it. Um, but yeah, meeting Bitcoiners in person, it's definitely one of the better things that I've done because, sometimes in a community you can kind of feel isolated, especially when you're only discussing things online or via text. So when you do like put faces to the names, you shake hands, you break bread, it's definitely a much better experience, obviously. So cheers to in-person meetups, whether they're about Bitcoin or whatever it is that everyone else is interested in. Um, Another thing I wanted to chat about was I recently got a bitaxe. And if you don't know, bitaxe is a very small Bitcoin miner. And I've been wanting to make a video to find a way to explain Bitcoin mining in a very simple way. But I feel like that's an area that I'm still trying to understand more of myself. So it brings a physical tangibility to Bitcoin, which is what I like because it's a actual physical device, obviously. And in order to mine Bitcoin, you need to use real world electricity, which also has a cost, since we all know Bitcoin isn't printed out of thin air for free like our fiat dollar system. So that's something that I want to really dive into and really make sure I understand. And it's also exciting because it's something new that I'm not that familiar with. So I always tell my son, like, it's good to keep asking questions and to keep learning new things and like broadening your horizon. So, like, trying to wrap my head around what Bitcoin mining is and have a better understanding of it, I feel like it's really fun and it's cool. And I actually want to give a shout out to the Solo Satoshi team. They're really like, it's cool that they're putting out this product. It's open source and they ship very quickly. So I'm actually going to get a second Bitaxe in a couple of days, and I'm really excited about that. And I appreciate my wife for putting up with this. She's cool with all of it. She loves to learn this aspect of Bitcoin, and she's like willing to go there with me and like keep learning new things. So cheers to Bitaxe, cheers to Bitcoin mining, and also cheers to being able to learn new things and being open to learning new things the older we get, right? Um, let's see what else. I think the SBR, the Strategic Bitcoin Reserve. Um, that was signed, what, a couple of weeks ago by the Trump administration. And I feel like everyone has been waiting for the price to just start to like shoot up since then, but it's remained flat. And I think that's okay because Bitcoin doesn't do what you expect it to do. It never does, right? And I feel like Samson Mao over at Jan 3 had a really good explanation on why the price hasn't really like started to moon post the reserve being signed via executive order. And one of the thoughts that he had, which I agree with, was, the executive order conveyed an intent to explore how to buy more Bitcoin, but the US hasn't actually said how they're going to do this. And I feel like once that's clear to the market and they actually do begin buying Bitcoin, then I imagine like the nation state um, race to accumulate the most Bitcoin is going to accelerate, and that too will have an effect on the price. But I feel like overall, the price of Bitcoin is one thing, and I feel like that while that's exciting, the most important thing to me or one of the most important things to me is to, when we onboard our friends and family and tell them about Bitcoin and they start accumulating by themselves, self-custody is the biggest thing, to not leave your Bitcoin on an exchange forever. And I always like to convey to everybody, like, once you go down the rabbit hole and you start accumulating Bitcoin, say $50 a week or $200 a week, just to have them take their time as their balance increases to learn more about Bitcoin, So once it gets to a certain threshold, I tried to convey to everybody to make sure you understand what self-custody means and to not leave your money on an exchange because that's one of the innovations of Bitcoin. So I'll either tell them about the cold card or I'll tell them about the Bitkey. So it just depends on how tech savvy they are. Obviously, there's pros and cons to both, but the important thing is to be able to have the wherewithal and the understanding that, hey, you can accumulate your Bitcoin on Strike or Cash App, but you don't have to leave it there. And you can withdraw it in your own self custody. And God forbid anything happened anywhere, whether it's the US or whatever country that you're in, the innovation is one of many, is that you could literally take your money on your Bitkey, on your cold card, or written as 12 or 24 words, and you could leave the country and start your life over wherever you want. So I think the price action is exciting, but I always try to come back full circle over the idea that stack your sats, but take them into self custody because at the end of the day, that's how we win. The more people to self custody, the better. Um, so, yeah, I think those were the main things I wanted to get into today. I don't want to keep you here too long, obviously. And this is something that I wanted to try. Putting yourself on camera is always a strange thing. It is something that I'm learning how to do every day and get better at, especially working in the movie industry. I'm so used to being behind the scenes and behind the camera, telling people what to do and where to go. So it's interesting for me to put myself out there and be in front of the camera. But I'm always like, I want to continue learning, like how I was talking about Bitcoin mining. And I want to continue putting myself out there and trying new things and just seeing what happens because at the end of the day, got nothing to lose, right? So hopefully, you guys enjoyed that. And as always, keep asking questions, keep stacking sats, and I'll catch you on the next one.